Hello, my name is Diane Tran, and this is my friend.
Hi, I'm Liz.
This is Liz. Someone asked me to do a Dark Shadows review, and I didn't feel like doing it alone today. So I asked, my friend Liz went to the midnight showing, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
That's correct.
And I just got back from it this afternoon. So let's talk about your experiences with the Dark Shadows franchise, and I'll talk about mine.
Well, see, like, I didn't really get to be around it that much when I was a kid because, like, my parents were more into, like, watching, like, I don't know, like, Hawaii 5.0, is that what that show's called? I don't know. I'm not really big on TV shows many these days, but they were into that kind of stuff. But I did come across a few episodes as I got older because, you know, we got more television and channels when I was a kid because we didn't really have that many growing up.
Yeah.
But when I did get to watch it, I really liked it, and it stuck out in my head. But, you know, I didn't get enough of the close-on experience with it except for, like, you know, I knew the characters well enough, but I didn't know much about the backstories or anything. So, you know, when I went into this kind of, I guess...
blind?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, pretty much. Like, I was, like, open-minded, I guess, but at the same time, you know, since I'm not a big fan like a lot of people are, I didn't have that judgmental state. I mean, I knew enough, but it's also like, what am I getting into?
Oh, I gotcha. Well, I am actually, have you experienced the 90s series? The 90s reboot series?
Yes, I did. I mean, I'm going to throw my age out here. I was born in 91, so I just got to see, like, you know, like reruns of it and all that stuff as I got older. But, again, I still didn't get enough of it because as a kid, you know, again, this is my age again, but I was, like, freaked out by it because I didn't understand it. But at the same time, you know, I thought it was cool because, you know, you're a kid, you're like, oh, I'm watching something scary. Mom and Dad can't know. And then, well, and now that I'm older, I was able to get a hold of a few other episodes, and I've got some family members that recorded some on VHSs. Oh, my God, that's old school there. But
that shows our age right there.
We watched those, and, you know, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool, but... You know, I really wish I could have gotten more into it, you know, because now that I've seen the movie, I kind of want to go and watch the TV show now and be like, okay, what did they fuck up?
Yeah, I agree with that. But let's talk about mine. I am actually a huge fan of the 60s show. I was introduced to it through Sci-Fi Channel, actually doing reruns. When I first got cable, I was like, oh my God, it's cable. I can watch anything I want. And what came on before Babylon 5 was Dark Shadows. And that was back when there wasn't TiVo, so I actually set my VCR. Shows you how old I am. So I would set my VCR on timer, and they would show the 2 episodes each morning at like 6 a.m. in the morning, and I obviously wasn't up, so I would record it, and then after school I would come back and watch them. And I would have like this entire load of full of Dark Shadow stuff, and I got really, really into it. And
you've done fan art for it too, haven't you?
I do have fan art for it. I do. Yeah, and this was well before I even heard a remake was even done. Now I have seen the 90s show back when it aired. Now I barely remember it. I remember it being very, very moody, very cute. But for the most part, it wasn't the 60s series. So I think I was introduced to the 90s version first because that came on syndication on regular TV. So I didn't have cable at that time. So I remember watching that. I'm okay with Ben Cross being Barnabas. He actually was really dramatic, but he was subtle. Now, talking about like Jonathan Frid and everything, I actually have an autograph of his.
I hate you.
Yeah, but here's the story. I actually went to an antique store, and I was looking through all this stuff, and all of a sudden I was looking through all these autographs, and I saw Jonathan Frid, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Barnabas. But it's actually like just like a photo of his resume photo, something like his stage photo, not of Barnabas himself, but I do have it. It's in my drawer. So,
hey, that's what I got. I just got a signed autograph from Raven Simone from That's So Raven. So.
Oh, excellent. Do you know how much I paid for it, though?
How much?
$5. He was so, yeah, it was like a really cool find. Unfortunately, now I'm pretty sure his autograph is now up to a couple hundred now.
Wow.
Now with his death, which he died a few weeks before this premiered for the movie.
Well, yeah, he's in it. Did you see him in it?
Yeah, I did see him in it. Okay, that's pretty much how my experience went. I was, I guess I should talk about the Dark Shadows, the 60s show, about what they were supposed to show, basically, and people don't realize it that Barnabas did not start in the very beginning of Dark Shadows. He was not.
No, he didn't. Yeah. I actually know that one.
Yeah.
I know that because, like, he came in and he became so popular that they just kept him, right?
Yeah, exactly. He was only supposed to be there for, I don't know what the heck this is. Someone said, like, help me, so I'm like, no.
Oh, God.
So I'm sorry about that. But
okay.
He actually appeared in 173. I think that's the name of I think that's the number that he came in on. So he came in, he was supposed to do like 7 weeks and die at the end of that, but then like after the first 3 days he had so much fan mail and they kept him. So and that was when the ratings were getting really, really low. So he pretty much saved the show. He was a great character. And going to that, he came in and he was pretty much a villain in the very beginning. He came in, he came to Collinswood as a cousin from England, posing as such. He was broken into by Willie, and Willie was actually very young in this show. He was like in his 20s. He was very young. And
are we talking about the original? Or are we talking about the 90s?
No.
The original, John Carlin?
Oh, we're talking about the original 1960s version.
Okay.
Yeah, he was very young in that one. So he was a friend of Maggie, who was the artist's daughter who worked at the Blue Whale bar. And Victoria Winters was a completely different character. So she was.
Yeah, that threw me for a loop.
Yeah,
I even knew that. I was like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, that threw me all really loud. But if you watch the 70s movie, which was the spin-off of the 60s show, and they basically did the 60s show and compressed it all. They actually made Victoria Maggie as well. So they actually combined them. So I was a little okay with it because I'm so used to Night of Dark Shadows.
Right.
So, which is the name of the feature film, which comes on TCM once in a while. So, he comes in, he basically says that, oh, I'm back in Collinwood, but actually Collinwood was actually two buildings. There was the new house and the old house, and the old house was so decrepit that they had to move and rebuild another home. So I was actually thrown off by that also in the new film. Because there's supposed to be two houses. Yeah, because there's supposed to be two houses, the old house and the new Collinswood. So I was really weirded out by that. And he had a music box, which was for his lover Josette. He actually had an affair with Josette's lady's maid, who was very French. And he had an affair with her when they were out in the Caribbeans, because Josette was a daughter of a plantation owner. And
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
She was a rich French immigrant to Caribbeans, and she had a sugar plantation, basically, which was very cool back in the 1760s. So, or 1720s. It's one of those two. It's 1700s. Yeah. But understand that the old 60s shows also time traveled a lot, so it was really difficult to figure out. If you missed an episode, you had no idea what was going on.
So basically it's not like Human Target. You can't just jump in and be like, hey, I know where I'm at.
No, not at all. Even if I was out doing something and it was on, I come back and I don't know what's going on. So it was a little like lost, which was very strange for a soap opera. And any soap opera, if you watch like Dallas or Time of Our Lives or Days of Our Lives, you can watch
Days
it.
of Our Lives.
Yeah, you can watch it 2 months after and still know exactly where you are. So,
But it's the same shit all the time.
yeah, it is. It is, but Dark Shadows was not like that. And again, and he comes in, he actually finds Maggie, actually Maggie, the waitress, and he basically brainwashes her. He does not seduce her, he brainwashes her, and basically suppresses her personality in order to become Josette. And it was an extremely horrible scene, seeing her die every day. And he comes in, steals her away, and she actually goes to a madhouse later on, and tries to marry.
Oh, that's why they did that in the film.
Yeah,
okay.
that's why they did it in the film, because her personality was so damaged by Barnabas's hypnotism, and her personality was so down. She didn't know who she was. She didn't know where she was. She didn't know who her father was. And she had to go to an insane asylum, basically. And poor Willie was kind of in the middle of all this. He's serving Barnabas, but he's also in love with Maggie.
I can't stop laughing. Every time I think Willie now, I think Jackie.
Yeah, I know, isn't it? But seeing that, and then Angelique comes in and basically tries to ruin his life, because back in the 1700s, he promised himself to her, sort of, although he kind of denies it. He kind of denies it. But she was promised to him and did all these things in order to get him to come back. So she brainwashed his uncle, and his uncle ended up marrying Josette. And yeah, and he goes into a duel with Barnabas and ends up like stabbing him. And Josette starts remembering her love affair with Barnabas, and they're starting to get together, even though she's not quite a widow yet. So she's actually technically married.
No, nice.
Yeah, back in the 1700s, that's not good. And,
no.
And
Harlot.
And then Angelique does these things like, oh, go off on the, basically makes up that Barnabas died, and then she goes off to Widow's Hill,
jump.
and just when he was out there, she finds out that he's a vampire. Well, not real. Well, he finds out that he basically killed an uncle,
Right.
and she thought that her life was ruined. She jumped, and he tries to stop her, but she's so confused with her emotions that she ends up falling. And he's there, and he sees it, and he can't stop her. Of course, this is back in the 60s. You couldn't see the cliff, so it was more like
so
her.
it's just like,
She was just jumping off screen. so you could just hear this. Ah! You could hear her just go ah in the background. So despite being like a very dramatic scene, you can't help but laugh at the camp too. So that was wonderful, and he ends up going to shoots Angelique, and she curses him, says, every time that you love someone, they will die, and I will curse you, Barnabas Collins, for all time. You will become a monster. And then a bat flies through a window and bites him, and he dies. And his sister, his younger sister, also dies, like of grief. And he wakes up from the coffin, finds out he's a vampire. He actually becomes almost a Jack the Ripper character. And he actually starts killing prostitutes on the streets. Yeah. Prostitutes on the streets, and then his father and I think his uncle was still alive at that time, chain him to a coffin, stick him in the mausoleum. Now you go back into the future, which is 1960s, and despite brainwashing Josette, he wants to marry her but cannot marry her as a vampire because he doesn't want to tell her what he is.
Right.
So he actually meets up with Julia Hoffman, who is actually a good person, and she figures out a way that if you just replace the vampire blood with normal blood, with human blood, you can actually stop the process of vampirism. And she does that. She actually gives him transfusions because she's a blood doctor, actually. And he does that, and he actually goes into the light for the first time in 200 years. And he starts touching the light. It's so beautiful the way he does it. And it's just like, I have not seen the light or touched the light or the sun in 175 years. So, and then basically completely finishes up his thing and tries to marry Josette. And Julia Hoffman has actually fallen in love with him by this point. So, yay, soap operas! So, and does that, and he actually has a drawback. Something happens. He wants to speed up the process and get more transfusions, and she's like, no, we have to take this one step at a time. No, I want to marry her now. So finish the procedures. She finishes the procedures, but he actually reverts. He actually ages 175 years and becomes this monster. You could see his his entire face just melts, and he becomes an old man, and this old man becomes very feral, and he starts killing people left and right, and really becomes the Jack the Ripper character. And in the end, after he sucks up enough blood, he actually comes back to normal, and then realizes he pretty much like bit Josette. And despite the fact that I don't remember if she lived, but I think she did live. But I'm not sure. It's been so long since I've seen it.
You know more than I do, because I'm like getting like blown away here, because like all this stuff you're telling me is just like,
it's so much. There's so much information, and seeing that the '90s series kind of does it, but they trim it all down. There's so much stuff, and of course throughout the series, one of the things I've always hated was when Barnabas, instead of confessing his love to Julia, which is Dr. Julia Hoffman, he ends up confessing his love to Angelique. And I remember screaming at the TV, going, no! Don't you dare do that! After all she's done! You did. And I was like throwing stuff at the TV. So I was just so angry at it. But that was pretty much like at the end of the series, after all the horrible things she's done. Killing off like every lover that he's had sequentially, and then throwing him into the time and seeing the future and seeing the past, reliving the past. It's it's just all this crazy stuff. So,
that's kind of like a brain fuck right there.
Yeah, like I said, if you missed an episode, you were fucked. So you're
right.
Fucked. So I think now we're going to talk about the actual movie, the Tim Burton movie of 2012. So you wrote actually a synopsis of it. Why don't you start? Why don't you talk about it now that I've talked?
Well, you talk so much better than me.
Oh, no. Don't say that.
Alright, well, I guess the main thing to talk about for this movie is that, wow, okay, how do I put this? Alright, so the story pretty much, takes place, you know, they followed that whole, story of Barnabas' past that they added on to it.
Which was so short, and it was so much of it was completely deleted. They started off with like, he had an affair with it. He actually came from Liverpool.
Yeah.
And
okay, that's what. Yeah. Sorry, I got home late, so like all that got rushed out of my head. But I remember now. Okay. So like you said, it starts out in Liverpool, and we pretty much get like a really brief, you know, look at like how Barnabas' childhood was with his father and his mother and his family, and how he ended up in Collinsport, which was like, wasn't it like in Maine or something? It was like some little
a Maine just before the American Revolution. So they actually built basically a town there, a township there. They built a town there, and they helped give it life by using the fishing ports and all that stuff, so people could make money and sell and trade and all that stuff. And because of that, his father was like, okay, well, we're just gonna put ground down here, so we're gonna build this really, really cool house. I mean, I really wish I could be on this set, because I really just want to play in this house now. Oh my God! It was Collinswood was beautiful. It was so much prettier than than the '60s show.
I know, because I remember seeing the '60s show, and I'm like, dude, this is like badass. And even though it's all dusty and nasty looking, it's great.
Yeah, it's great.
Anyway, the story goes on, and we pretty much learn that Angelique is a servant of Barnabas' family with her mother.
Not Josette's family, but Barnabas' family.
No, that's what I said, Barnabas' family.
Yeah.
Angelique is a servant of Barnabas' family, and they met each other when they were kids. And already, even as a kid, she already had like her eye on him, and it was like, hey, you there, look at me. So, which is kind of creepy because they're kids. But anyway, time goes on, and Barnabas and Angelique end up having like a
fling.
Yeah, I guess a fling's the best way to put it. I mean, we don't really see him with anybody else before then, so, but, she's in love with him. Like, she loves everything about him. She just wants him. So she's like, okay, well, why don't you say you love me? Well, in a jackass kind of way, he's like, well, that would be lying. So pretty much he just wanted to bang that.
Yeah, pretty much.
So then all of a sudden, like, out of nowhere, we get Josette. Like, she's just thrown into the plot. Like, we don't get any explanation for her. We don't get anything. Ta-da! There's Josette. Anyway, she comes in, and Angelique is all jealous because, oh, well, you're not going to love me, so you're not going to have anybody. So she puts a curse on the family and gets his parents killed by having a giant seahorse kind of shaped statue. Yeah, which was like, I kind of laughed. I know that's bad, but I kind of laughed at the effects they used for that because it was like, squish.
Because it was so cartoony.
I know.
Oh, it was so...
I think that's why I like the campy, corny look of it. I was like,
and
funny.
I swear there was a fart sound. I swear.
Yes, whoopee cushion.
It's whoopee cushion. So.
But anyway, that goes on, and then Barnabas becomes obsessed with like the magics and the dark arts and all that stuff because he wants to figure out, what's happening to his family. Why is this happening? Because he even says family is the most important thing in the world that you can have.
Yeah.
So he wants to know what's causing his family to go through this hell. Well, I don't know. I guess I don't really know what goes from there, but it pretty much just goes on for a while. And then
basically, he tries to figure out black magic, which he never learned in the '60s series.
Yeah.
And Angelique then curses Josette.
Yeah.
And
then Josette, she's in like a trance, and we see her walking through the woods, and then we see Barnabas, Johnny, chasing after her like, which is kind of funny because he's getting slapped in the face with all these tree branches, and yet she's walking through really easily through the forest while he's getting smacked around. Who doesn't love Johnny Depp getting smacked around? I mean, I didn't say that.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, she gets to the cliff, and he's like, okay, I don't know why, but he just stops and stares at her. Who the hell stops and just stares at somebody if they're hanging off a cliff?
Exactly.
Anyway, he runs at her, and he's like, oh, and she's like, she just looks at him and is like, help me, and then just falls off. And I'm laughing because it's so stupid looking.
And she just falls out, and she basically does this kind of like, it's almost like chicken bone cracking.
Yeah.
And it was just like if you just took a raw chicken and just snapped it, and that was the sound.
So and then you see the water going over her body, and it's like, oh, she's dead. And so Barnabas is all depressed and sad, and like, he just stands up and just looks at her body and just falls. Like he just falls into the ground, and he just slams into the rocks next to her, and the water's like washing their body around. They look like dolls. It looks great. And then all of a sudden he gets up, and that's when I'm like, what? Like, his ass just jumped. I know he ain't alive, but no, he gets right up, and right there he starts to transform. Like, his features become like, as you see him in the poster, he's all pale, and he's all dark-eyed and claws and really funky blood coming out of his eyes. Which, why is blood coming out of his eyes? I don't know.
I guess now he's a Christ figure, I guess.
I guess, I don't know. It's supposed to look creepy. I think it just looks cheesy as hell. But, okay, but Barnabas is pretty much a vampire now, and he looks up, and there's Angelique standing on the cliff where he had just jumped, and she's looking down at him, and he's like, what have you done? Dramatic scream.
I am dramatic.
Well, because, you know, he's a vampire now. He's got a feed. So I guess, from what I can understand of the lynch mob that suddenly shows up, I guess he was feeding on people for a while, and Angelique led them back to the Collinwoods home, and was like, "Oh, hey, that's the bad guy. Get him." And so she pretty much leads the mob. Nobody's suspicious of a woman wanting to get a man killed in these days. I'm not buying that, but okay. They get him, and like he goes without a fight pretty much, which is funny because later on he's fighting like hell. But they put him in a box, and they chain the box up, and then they lower him into the ground, and we just see Angela smiling like, "Hey, your ass is mine."
Well, did you notice that the hole was very shallow?
Yeah,
it was very shallow. He was like buried 3 feet, 4 feet.
It's supposed to be like 6 feet under or like lower if you're a vampire. Like then they have like a ritual for like bury his ass as far down as you can go, so he's closer to hell for Satan to grab or something. I don't know. I remember reading that. Anyway, that was weird. I don't know. Anyway, Barnabas is stuck in this box for 196 years, which is like pretty much 200 years. He keeps saying 200, but it was 196 anyway.
Yeah.
And it ends up being 1972. By this point, the Collins family has pretty much dwindled down. Like, they pretty much suffered a great deal because of the curse that Angelique has put on the family. And, like, it's pretty much down to Carolyn, which is played by Chloe Moretz, Roger, Johnny Lee Miller, and which, you know, I did not like his character the way they did this, but okay. Elizabeth, which is played by Michelle Pfeiffer, which I was okay with her playing that.
I thought she was great.
And David, which is, this kid's name is like Gulliver McGrath, and he's not played in anything yet, and I personally think he looks kind of weird, like his head's too big for his body, but maybe that's me.
Well, David in the original 60s series, he could see ghosts. So, which they kind of countered here, but it was actually, he could actually see Barnabas' sister's ghost. So, in the 60s series. This series, it was like his mother.
Oh, yeah, he could see his mom. And, well, with the Collins family is their servants and groundskeeper. Willie Loomis, which is played by Jackie Earle Haley, which we all love. Yay, Jackie, for coming back into the film. And then Miss Johnson, some really old lady who I was kind of liking because she was so cute.
She was adorable.
She was by Ray Shirley.
Yeah, something like that.
And then there was Dr. Julia Hoffman, which, you know, you talked about her a while ago, and it was played by Helena Carter. And what is it with Helena Carter being in every movie? Oh, my God.
Because she fucks the director.
Yeah, probably.
So that's the reason why. It's the same thing with Anne Marie. So, well, not was that her name? Anne Marie?
I think so.
Something
No.
like
Really? I know what you're talking about. I just don't remember the name right now.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that. But anyway, they're all pretty much just living in, like, you know, fake. Like, we have money, but not really. We just own this really cool house, but we don't really have anything because our fishing business went out of, like, business.
Yeah, steam.
And, like, and, you know, and then I guess they put an ad in the paper to look for, like, a nanny/tutor, right?
It was a governess. It was a governess, yeah.
The governess, yeah. Well, that's our character, Maggie Evans, comes in, but she doesn't call herself Maggie here. She goes as Victoria Winters because I guess she's on the run, and that's later on she'll explain that, but she is on the run from the insane asylum she ran away from because, like David, she can see ghosts and communicate with them.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of interesting that they did that, because that's a little different, I guess.
I guess. I just thought it goes, so your daughter is different, stick her in an insane asylum?
Well, back then, in those times, I mean, what else would you do? I mean, nowadays parents would just, like, smack them upside the head and be like, you know, like, get off the drugs. But,
yeah, pretty much.
But at that time, it's just like, this kid be creepy. Anyway, we get on to Barnabas waking up because these construction workers, which I find this so funny that they're making a McDonald's, but what does he call it? He calls it like 1,000 watts of the arch of like hell or something like that. Anyway,
he calls it Mephistopheles.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: as a person who studies the history of demons, Mephistopheles is not Satan. He's actually a servant of Satan. So, his real name is actually Samuel. So,
because they use him in reference to Hellboy. I know that from Hellboy. That's the only reason I know that, because I'm a Hellboy freak. But anyway, these construction workers come across the coffin, and they're like, oh, we're going to be stupid and open up the coffin because, it looks so cool.
Yeah,
so they grab,
not like it's chained up or anything.
They cut the binding off of it, and all of a sudden, like a figure just shoots up out of the air. And I love how they try to make it all secretive, like we don't know it's Barnabas. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, all we see is like construction workers dying left and right and left, and one guy gets like, I don't know, yanked down in the hole, and it's just
silly.
It's just a waste of time, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But then we get to the very usual scene where, like, somebody from the past ends up in the future, and he finds a road, like a highway.
Yeah.
And I think he thinks it's like a black river of death or something. I don't know, because he's afraid to get on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, he gets on this road, and he's like, oh, what a strange place I'm in. It's Johnny Depp. He's gonna play it all the time.
It's not like roads haven't been around since like the Roman era. So.
Well, I don't know if they were like paved like what we've got them now.
No,
I can understand his curiosity, but at the same time, it's like, do you really need to make that big of a deal out of a road?
Yeah, well, they would have, stone.
Well, then, I do think this is kind of funny that he's standing in the middle of the road, and there's lights coming towards him, and he thinks it's like Satan or some kind of spirit coming to like take his soul away. So he just stands in the middle of the road with his arms open, and it turns out to be like a really nice car that I kind of wish I remembered the model of, but it's a really nice car, and they're like, get out of the road, asshole, with, there's cussing, So, he's like, okay, I don't know what that was, but, he keeps walking after that, and he starts heading back into town.
Yeah.
Well, he's in for a big surprise when he realizes that, ooh, look, shiny lights, and ooh, look, some interested prostitutes, and ooh, ice cream sandwiches and stuff. I mean, it's like one of those, out of experience things. It's like a culture shock for him, basically.
My favorite was the movie theater. It had Deliverance and Superfly.
Oh, God. I didn't even notice that. Are you serious?
Yes, they were the people that, when you first saw the place, it said Deliverance with Burt Reynolds actually on it, and then the other side said Superfly. Because we're in the 70s.
Like, interviews, Jackie.
Yeah.
He was talking about these interviews that he was in. He was talking about the sets. And he said he felt very nostalgic going into, like, the city that they built.
Yeah.
Because, like, they did, like, everything to make sure everything looked like it came out of the 70s, like the gas pumps, little trinkets, the windows, everything was 70s.
Yeah.
Cars, outfits, everything. But, so, I thought that was just kind of cool, and that's why I really wish I could go on these sets. Because sets are, like, one of my favorite things about movies. I mean, like, it could be the crappiest movie in the world, and I still want to see these sets.
Yeah, I agree. So...
Anyway, we get on, and Barnabas ends up walking to Collinwood.
Yeah.
And, he gets in, and he's walking up the road, which, it took Maggie when she showed up a long time to get up the road, but he gets up there like that, so I guess that's vampire speed or very bad timing. I don't know. And we get our first real, like, run-in with Jackie playing Willie.
Mm-hmm.
And he's singing in the pumpkin garden, drunk, off his ass. I don't even know what the hell he's singing. Like, it's some sailor song, I think.
Yeah, it's something like that.
It's just weird. It's cute, but it's weird.
And then he goes to the pumpkin patch and goes like, hey, pumpkin. So,
he's just, like, playing with the pumpkin. I'm like, what else?
It's so adorable. So,
I was like, I don't know what kind of drunk you are, Jackie, but that's not how usual drunks I meet are, but okay.
Well, I don't know, yeah.
Oh, my God. Anyway, Barnabas is like, fear me not, drunkard, or something like that, and Jackie, or Willie, tries to give him his flask of, like, whatever the hell he's drinking, and Barnabas is like, no, and just slaps it out of his hand, and he's like, hey, that was mine. He's looking at it like, jerk, that was mine. And, Barnabas, being Barnabas, and the fact that, I guess did he do that in the TV show a lot? I think you said that, right? He hypnotized people a lot.
Yeah, in the beginning he did, and then they kind of forgot about the power. So,
okay, well, he hypnotizes Lily, and actually, if you all want to see that, you can actually look for it online, because it's on YouTube, and I think I've, like, posted it on the Facebook page, the Royce page, but it's really funny because, you know, like, he's a drunkard, so if you're hypnotizing a drunk person, it's pretty much like putting him to sleep. So Jackie just falls asleep, and Barnabas, Johnny, is like, okay, that's it, wake up. So he just smacks him on the top of the head, and like, and he wakes up and he's like, I mean, it's
adorable.
Yeah, it's just very cute because Jackie's like, But that goes on for a while before, like, you know, he finally fully hypnotized Lily, and Lily's like, sure, master, what are we going to do now, you know? So Barnabas is like, you need to cleanse me, and then you need to take me inside my house. And when he said cleanse me, is it really bad? I kind of had a dirty thought, but anyway.
Of course.
I can't help it. I was just like, oh, I don't want to think that. Anyway, moving on. Barnabas is able to get back in the house, and, you know, it kind of looks like crap compared to when he was a kid, I bet. But, you know, he's just all happy to be home. He's, like, going into details about how the house was made and, like, you know, how long it took to make and blah, blah, blah.
Which is a scene, it's a scene I loved because in the 60s show, they go into great detail about how the house was made. And it was just, like, Peruvian marble and marble from shipped over from Europe to over here, and so all the curses and the blood from and sweat from the workers from the old world brings over to the new world, and it's the same curse basically. So anyway, keep going. I'm sorry.
Yes, no, that's an interesting fact because I didn't know that. I guess that's part of the story, but yeah, we get to Barnabas. You know, he's looking around the house, and the kids are sitting there in the living room, and I guess it's like a living room. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. But they're sitting by the fireplace, and, you know, David is the first one to notice that, hey, he looks like the guy in the picture above the fireplace.
Yeah.
You know, they point to it, and I think one of my favorite lines had to be when Caroline's like, are you stoned? And he's like, they tried stoning me, my dear. It didn't work. And I think that got the biggest laugh out of me from Johnny from the beginning there, because I was like, oh, that's kind of funny, because his facial expression was just the best. Because he's like, Well, you know, David's actually really happy to meet him because he's like, hey, I'm a Cullen too. So, you know, they're about to shake hands and be like, you know, what's up? Well, Elizabeth shows up, and she's like, get away from him, you know, he's, you know, a stranger, you know, playing that whole mommy, you know, don't talk to strangers kind of thing, which is smart. You know, if some guy walks in acting like he's like your 200-year deceased relative, you're going to be kind of like, okay, this guy's crazy.
I think it's funny that she's like, don't get away from him, he's a stranger. Well, you kind of opened the front door. You let the servant let him walk in, so...
He didn't let him in. Willie let him in.
Willie let him in. You should have locked the door still. So.
True. I mean, true. I guess. I mean, I don't know. Somebody should have been, like, walking Willie away while he was drunk, because apparently he's a little incompetent there. Anyway, Elizabeth and Barnabas start talking, and they, you know, he reveals himself to be really Barnabas, like he's the actual Barnabas, and that he's actually a vampire. And he also opens up all these secret passages, which I thought was kind of cool, because that's one of my favorite things about old houses, is that there are old houses that really did have those kind of old school, like, trapdoors, like something you see out of Scooby-Doo or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, which I thought was great that they made a reference to in the show, in the movie, but I was like, yay! But, you know, he opens up this passageway that opens up the fireplace, and they go down these stairs, and, you know, they're able to find, like, all these jewels and these coins, and it's really, like, breathtaking, actually, because, like, what they put into details to make this look like, you know, families of riches, because even though his father was really into family, it's like he said, he had his eyes on other riches, too.
Yeah.
Well, meanwhile, while this is happening, we cut to the morning, and we see a woman in a car, in a really nice car, and she's just driving down, and everybody's like, hi, you know, happy to see her. Yeah. And we get that her name is Angel Davis. Ooh, I wonder who that is. And she is the owner of almost all of Collinsport at this point in time. And, you know, it turns out that this is Angelique. And she's been living for, like, years now by taking on new shapes and taking a new body and you know, every few years to keep the town from suspecting who she is and that she's a witch. You know, by saying, oh, my great-great-grandmother, well, naturally that's me, but, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's just going about her daily business, you know, running the fish market and all that stuff. Well, you know, everybody's moving kind of, like, sluggishly, and she's like, what the hell's going on? And they're like, oh, we're all a little spooked by what happened at the construction site. And she's like, what? And they're like, yeah, there were people massacred. They found some kind of box. And she does this really creepy face expression thing, which, okay. And we show up at where Barnabas had come out of the ground, and ta-da! She knows exactly who it is, and instantly she's at Collinwood. And, you know, she pretty much just knocks Willie out of the way and is like, yep, it moved. And she comes in, like, pretty much uninvited, which I'd be like, bitch, get out of my house. But, she and Elizabeth have a stare-off of, like, I don't like your face, I want to rip your hair out, you know, stuff like that.
Much.
Very friendly meeting.
Yeah.
But, they're like, I heard you got a new guest that came to greet her. And, you know, Elizabeth's trying to be all cool, like, oh, well, he's asleep. And she's like, asleep in the day. Oh, how odd. Well, Barnabas shows up, and I don't know why he's awake in the...
I guess the noise woke him up.
Yeah, I think he says something like that. What's that hideous banging or whatever he says. He wakes up and he comes downstairs and he doesn't recognize Angelique because, you know, she does look different from how we see her in the beginning. You know, she was a brunette and then, oh, look, she's a blonde now.
Yeah.
Because that happens all the time.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's like, oh, it's a pleasure to meet you, madam. And he's like shaking her hand. All of a sudden she like death grips him or something. I don't know what happened there. She like death grips him, pulls him there, and it's just like, we've met, or whatever she says. And he's like, I see. And he knows right away who she is. Which, you know, if you slept with somebody, you'd hope you remembered who they were. Yeah. But, you know, they pull off to the side because Barnabas is like, I would like to speak with her alone, please. And Elizabeth's like, yeah, whatever. So they, you know, they run off into, like, this extra room. And, you know, Barnabas is yelling at her, I can't believe you would show your hideous face, you hag, blah, 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 blah. And they're, like, pretty much just having a stand-up. And she just suddenly turns around and just starts making out with his face.
Yeah. That's true. I was just like, wow.
And like, the kiss lasted like ever, and I'm like, is this gonna stop? Oh my god. But, when it doesn't, she's like, oh, it really is you, you know? And then this goes on for a while. It's just like bantering, basically, is the best way I can put it, where he's like pissed at her, just like, you trapped me in a box, and she's like, oh, quit being a baby. So, I mean, like, hello, you ruined my life. I was locked away for 200 years. Oh, it was only 196. You're being dramatic. Yeah. And, you know, I mean, like, and then he, like, approaches her and is, like, calling her all kinds of names. She gets pissed and throws the sun at him, basically, by moving the blinds. And is like, I'm going to make your life miserable again unless you love me. Because, again, she's on that whole kick of, you got to love me or you're pretty much fucked.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So, you know,
emotional blackmail. Yeah.
Yeah. After she leaves, the rest of the film pretty much goes into Barnabas trying to slowly restore the family business, you know, like making everything better, getting the house all restored, getting the fishing boats back by, like, oh, and this is my favorite part, it's the fact that we had the original Dracula in this film.
Well, we had Christopher Lee. Woohoo! So,
yeah, I know, right?
Christopher Lee, and he looked great. I mean, for his age.
I know, right? But Jackie, I keep wanting to say Jackie. Really, Jackie, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, but he leads them to like he's like the Dawn of the Fisherman, which I thought was hilarious. Because I had an image of him being like, "Come to me on the day of this wedding." I don't know. But you know, he takes them to they call him Silas. Yeah. Silas and takes them to meet Silas, and they're like, I understand you work for Angel David. How would you like to work for me? And, you know, he's got a very fisherman-esque, you know, response of, you got to be loyal to those that you set your loyalty to. I mean, it's not about money. It's all about being loyal. Which I can respect that because I thought Barnabas would respect it, too, because of the fact that isn't he all about, like, you respect your family, and isn't family pretty much the same thing to them? But no, he's like, no, okay, you know what, you don't want to work for me, fine, I'm going to hypnotize your ass. So he hypnotizes him and makes him, like, introduce him to all his other buddies so that they're like, oh, well, you're not going to work for this chick anymore because you'd rather work for Satan. Because, she pretty much is Satan. So, you know, that goes on, and then we still get more, you know, the restoration stuff, and then we also get, on the side, there's also Vicky, or Maggie, or whatever you want to call her at this point, and Barnabas getting some, time together, connecting, all this stuff.
In the daytime.
Yeah, they're connecting, which, that's still, what?
Yeah.
Isn't he supposed to be combusting?
Well, he keeps, I assume that it's because it's cloudy outside, but it looks like bright daylight.
Yeah, I don't really know about that.
Yeah.
But as long as he doesn't sparkle, I don't care. Just say.
Oh, man.
That goes on for a while, and, it's just flirting, and then we get to this really awkward scene of Barnabas going into Caroline's room.
Oh, yeah.
Caroline's room, and he's, like, freaked out by the lava lamp, and he's like, what does he call it again? Like a...
Yeah, it seems like a pulsating blood thing.
Blood sport or something? Yeah, I don't. Which is funny, because, like, I love lava lamps, and I was like, what is wrong with you? But then, we later get him with Caroline, and they're sitting and talking, and Caroline's just like, what do you want? Like, like, pretty much stereotypical moody teenager, which, Chloe plays this character pretty well, in my opinion, if you ask me. I like Chloe. Like, I've liked her since I've seen her as Stick Girl and Kick-Ass. So,
I agree. Yeah.
I think she's a pretty decent actress, for her age. And
you know what's funny? I think she's actually the best, like, maybe the second best actor in that entire film. Was her. Yeah, everybody else was very campy, and everybody else was very...
She was so serious, like, she was taking it seriously. Like, she was working that character. That was important to her.
Yeah.
And she was like, this is my early career. I want my early career to look good, so, which is smart.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm okay with the character, because I thought she was going to be like the kind of teenager. I'm like, oh my God, just smack her.
Yeah.
But she was good. But anyway, Barnabas goes to her to get, ideas, or like, catch up on how to court a woman of today. And, like, talking about giving her sheep and, I don't know. But, I like that he looks at her and he goes, how old are you, 15? 15 and no husband. You must let those baby making chips used to before your food shrivels up and dies. And she goes, you're weird. And that's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm like, dude, you just summed up Johnny Depp in 2 words.
Yeah, pretty much.
But then, she pretty much is like, it's a Vicky, you like her and all that stuff. And, she's like, you need to, like, get her into music and all that stuff. And he's, like, trying to sing. And I'm like, Johnny, don't sing. Don't, stop.
It was cute.
It's very cute. It was cute. I admit that, because he's sitting there. What song was he singing? I don't even remember.
God, it was,
I know what it was, but
I know what it was. I just can't think of it right now.
Yeah, but he's like using the words from this song, and I'm just like, awkward. But she's like, you need to meet some other people, like get out of the house.
I love that. I love that. Yeah.
Hippies.
Yeah, the hippies.
There were hippies in the beginning of the film that had dropped Maggie off at the Collinsport. We get to see these hippies again.
Yeah, these are the same guys, right?
Yeah, the same ones, exact same ones. There's just more of them now, because they've all, like, coagulated together and been like, let's do some drugs. So, like stereotypical hippies did.
Yeah.
So they're all getting high and talking about love and all that stuff. And Barnabas just, like, takes the weed and just passes it on to the next person. And, he's saying all this, like, tragic, like, romance, love stuff. And they're all like, that's deep, man. That's it, bro. You speak the heart. And I'm like, oh, God. Well, they keep talking, and, he's, like, trying to figure out, like, how to get a woman of today, like, to go with him. And he's, like, talking about giving the daddy sheep and money and,
a dowry, basically.
Yeah, pretty much forcing him into it or something like that. Yeah. And, like, they're like, dude, women don't want sheep or money. They want love, stuff like that. And I do that way too well. But, he's like, oh, okay, I get it, and he starts quoting Shakespeare and all this stuff. And he's like, you all have been very helpful to me, thank you, and it really pains me that I must kill you. And they all just kind of laugh, and he's like, no, really, I'm going to kill you. And they're like, oh, fuck. So that dies, and I'm pretty sure he probably got, like, I don't know, high off their blood. But,
probably. And what's funny is that he probably killed about 24 people now. Something like that, 24 people. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Our hero, ladies and gentlemen. Yay!
We then cut to the scene with him and Dr.
Hoffman.
And,
Hoffman.
yeah, this goes back to what you were talking about with the blood transfusion thing. But here's the catch.
Yeah.
She's not transfusing him to change him back.
Yeah.
She's transfusing him to use his blood to keep her young.
Yeah.
You know, so she can be like, I want to stay young forever.
I want to stay beautiful forever.
I don't want to grow old, blah, blah, blah. And then there's this very awkward scene where she goes down on him.
Oh my god, that was so weird. It was just like, do you know anything about doctor-patient ethics or something like that?
Confidentiality.
Yeah, confidentiality. He's like, no, enlighten me. And she just, and I'm like, what the hell is
and
this?
And the face he makes is amazing. He's like, huh?
I guess Angelique never did that. So.
Yes, well, they probably didn't know how to do that back then. I don't know
yes, they did.
Back then.
Yes,
I don't know how it worked.
Yes, it did. I know. I have proof. So,
Ew.
So,
moving on.
All right.
Awkward. Oh, but we're about to get on to more awkward sex stuff. Okay. So, we pretty much just, we just get Barnabas doing some more stuff with Maggie. And, they're like, she's like telling him, I believe that everybody is like capable of being, different in their own way and seeing supernaturals and all that stuff and blah, 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 blah. We get to, all of a sudden, it shifts over to Barnabas going to see, Angelique.
Yeah.
She's at work. And, he's like, you need to lift this curse off me so I can be with, Maggie. And she's like, no, because I want you. And anybody you love, I'm going to pretty much, kill them. That's basically what she's at.
Yeah.
Well, she's like, why won't you love me? Throwing all that stuff around. And he's like, I could not love you because you're a hustless hag and all this stuff and whatever. And then she's like, well, if I make you love me. And he's like, with what, a spell? And she's like, and with this. And she just, like, opens up her, like, nice little top thing. Yeah. And reveals herself in this slinky blue dress. And it's like, dress! And then he's like, I must admit, those have not aged a bit.
Yeah.
And Johnny's doing awkward sexiness. It's so not sexy.
No, it's not. So.
Maybe it's just me. I just don't find him that appealing. I think he can act at times. I think he's funny, but it just depends on what he's doing. I just think he tries too hard in this scene to come off as, like, sexy,
Yeah. And then she's like all over him, just like groping him from behind.
Okay, here's what happens. Like, she falls back on the couch, and he falls on top of her, and it's like, I don't know what they're even saying, because at this point I'm mortified. But all of a sudden, like, she just takes him and throws him into the wall. Like, not just like, get up and walk him and push him in the wall. No, she literally has him on the wall.
Yeah.
At this point, they're like kissing and licking and sucking and I don't know
scratching,
what. Just like,
It was like the most awkward, bizarre scene. It was like a freaking bad porno. It was bad. It was
like, like I said, it was a bad porno. Like I told you on AIM, I was just like, oh god.
Yeah. You were like staring at your popcorn going like,
what's even better is at the end, and he's like, I must admit that was the most regrettable turn of events.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think we feel? Here in the audience, we're like freaking out. And the guys behind me, this is what's funny. Like, okay, as I told you, I got a really fun group of people in my group with me that were like in the theater with me because it was late at night, and most of the, teeny boppers and Johnny Depp fangirls were in bed tucked away dreaming of, Twilight or whatever. While, the adults were out coming to see the movie, and I had like, these like stoned out college kids and all kinds of stuff coming to see, and like, this really like some older people that grew up with the TV show and all that stuff. And we're gonna see this. The guy behind me was like cracking the fuck up because he's like, dude, what is this? Dude, it's like watching like, bad porno. And he's just like flipping out behind me, and his girlfriend's just like, shut up. And I just turn around and go, it's okay, I agree with him. And we just high-fived each other. We're like, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I was like, you cannot get me to watch that because I couldn't watch it. I was sitting there staring at my popcorn, cringing, just like, I'm going to keep eating my popcorn.
I had, like, the most horrified face on. It was just like I saw something so horrifying that I cannot repeat it. It's like Lovecraft. So I was just like, oh my god, I saw Cthulhu. So
they were playing like a really awkward love song too.
they were, and it was like what is it? I don't want to win no much. Something like that. Something like that. And I remember just going, what is this? What the hell am I watching?
It's 70s porno at its worst.
And they actually had the wah 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 wah.
I know.
So,
oh my gosh, we move on from that. My brain.
So, all right, keep going.
On. Anyway, after that happens, she's like, you should love me again. And he's like, no. So he leaves, and okay, now. I don't know, I kind of forgot to put this part in while I was talking about that, but before this, we get this scene with Willie in the car.
Oh, yeah.
And he's drunk. Like, I guess he's drunk and driving Barnabas around, which, good driver, Barnabas. I guess you're a vampire, you won't get hurt, but Willie, you're dead. But, Willie is drunk off his ass, and he is waiting for Barnabas while he's in this car, and he's just singing off-key at the top of his lungs,
but
in the jungle.
Yeah, in the jungle. So...
The jungle. I'm like, oh my god. So I tweeted to Jackie about that, actually.
Yeah.
I was like, Jackie, just got back from seeing Dark Shadows. Love the scene with you in the car. Good song, by the way. He goes, they've been trying to teach me to sing to no avail. And I was like, Jackie, oh my god.
You're adorable. Aww.
You are adorable. And I'm just like, I'm not one to judge. I was told by my teacher that I sing like a cat trying to yell at the moon.
No.
But, he does that like twice.
Yeah.
It's like 2 times he does that.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I don't remember and then there's one time when he's freaking sleeping, which is the worst time to be sleeping.
Yeah.
Because Angelique, at this point, this is after
after the sex scene.
Sex scene.
Yeah.
Willie is sleeping in the car, and I guess he's supposed to be watching, waiting for Barnabas to come.
Yeah.
And Angelique gets Barnabas trapped in a box again.
Yeah.
And she has her co-workers. I guess they're hypnotized. They
were her stockholders or something. Something like that. They never explain who they are. They're part of the council.
Yeah. But I think they're hypnotized or something.
They probably are. Knowing her, yeah.
Yeah. Well, she locks him up, and they're like, we're going to take you to the Cullen's grave. It's just really nice, tomb and all this stuff.
The mausoleum, yeah.
They lock him up, and they're driving him to this, really nice mausoleum.
Yeah.
While Willie is asleep, and, she looks at the, Cullen's fish
canning factory, yeah.
Thingy. They never really say exactly what it is. I guess it's a canning thing. I guess you're right, but...
Well, they said it right there. It said Collins Canning Company, so...
I didn't get to the canning part, okay.
All right.
But, she's like, burn, baby, burn! And, it, blows up, and Willie wakes up and is like, oh, dude, boss, you're dead. His reaction is just dude. It's basically like Guerrero if he was high.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. It was just dude, he's dead. Aw.
Can I go get alcohol now? But, then she drops him off in this mausoleum and, takes her underwear off and sticks it on his face.
She just comes off as so rapey. It's just... she's... So... Anyway. And...
Yeah. But, she's like, maybe another 200 years in the box will make you love me better, appreciate us more, or whatever she says.
Yeah.
Sticks the underwear on his face, and then just shuts the door, and he's moaning and groaning. He's like, maybe it won't be so bad this time. I'm just going to give up and just die in here. Well, then all of a sudden we see a shadow coming, and he's like, oh, sweet Jesus, somebody has come to save me. Do not fear me. I will not harm you. And it opens it up, and it's David.
Yeah.
How the hell did David get there?
Well, he was missing for some time, so...
Yeah, I guess maybe he was following Barnabas around,
I guess, on foot, maybe.
Ew, does that mean he's still sexting that poor child?
Yeah, just running after that car.
Oh, God. Oh. But no, he's like, we have to save the family, stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, the factory's burning down, and everybody's like, everybody's back at the house, and he's like, and Barnabas is like, no, we have to get there, we have to help him, and then David's about to run off, and he's like, David, you might want to let me out first. David's like, oh yeah, I'll get the chain cutters.
Yeah.
Well, then we then cut to a mob scene, and I guess Angelique had revealed that Barnabas was the one that killed everybody.
Yeah.
And Lily is just standing in the crowd and is like, oh, this is bad. Well, she points him out and is like, there's one of them right now. I bet he's the one that started the fire. And it's like, oh crap, don't leave. Lily runs and is like, ah! Pretty much a very cute and comical little like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Yeah, I was like, run.
running. But then he gets in the car and he's like, ah! He backs up and, you know, he just runs all the way to the Collins house.
Yeah.
Which we then cut to the Collins house and we see Lily pulling up and he's like, oh, Bob, fire, run, and he just runs. And I don't know where he ran off to because he shows up again, like, in the house, but we should see him running away from the house.
Yeah, he was running away from the house. I don't know. It was a weird edit. So...
Bad editing,
yeah,
dude. Yeah. But, we see a mob show up at the house.
Yeah.
And the cops are like, we're sorry, we're going to have to take you in. You've been harboring a fugitive. And a whole bunch of shit just happens at once at this point that just gives me a freaking headache.
Yeah.
Barnabas shows up again and is like, you can take me. Like, I won't let my family be harmed. Which, you know, I do like that about Johnny. That he actually is really good at playing the whole don't touch my family kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because he has a family, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's getting divorced.
I mean, you know, but he still knows the importance of a family. Like, I'm sure the divorce has its reasons, and it's none of my business why he's getting a divorce, even though the paparazzi's like, must know. But,
must know, yeah. I met his family, actually.
Yeah, he's really nice.
Yeah, I when I was working at Disney, I was running to the bathroom, and someone was smoking a cigarette between what is known as offstage and onstage. Just between the employees section and between going to the park, and this guy was smoking a cigarette and he was waiting for someone, and all of a sudden I like ran past him and then stopped in my tracks and went, are you Johnny Depp? And this was when he was signing the contract for Pirates 2, Pirates 2. So, and he's like, yes, and then I met his 2 daughters, and who are like going to break hearts when they're gonna get older.
They're cute, aren't they?
Yeah, they're so pretty. For little, I mean, they have like these eyes and this. They look like they very much look like him, and they very much look like his wife. So and they're gonna be heartbreakers when they get older.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man, he was actually really nice and very shy. So
that's what I hear. Like, I hear he's actually like, I know I keep messing with him and stuff, and I pick on him, but he's actually said to be a very down to earth, very sweet guy. I mean, like everybody that's worked with him is like he's a joy to work with. I mean, he's just, you know, but
he's like very professional, very precautious about stunts. And because he does have kids, so he doesn't want to, he wants to be there. So
I think I kind of like to watch him grow up. I don't want to die, you know?
Yeah. But apparently he's like very calm, very collected, and usually in his own world. So
yeah, well, that's good. I mean, at least, you know, he can be down to earth but still have his own world, which is a very rare combination, but it's like really cool. But anyway,
all right. So
anyway, we get back to Barnabas and, like, you know, don't take my family, don't hurt them, you know. Angelique, she is like, he killed innocent people, and they're like, they harbored a fugitive, you gotta take them all. And he's like, I'm sorry, Barnabas. He's like, I'm sorry, I gotta take them all in. Well, I'm not really sure. Like,
he basically,
do you remember exactly what happens next?
Yeah,
like, this part's kind of fuzzy, because it all happened so fast.
Okay, what happened is that he hypnotized the cop, saying like, you will not take my family, you will only take me, and you will take Angelique. And then he actually like puts his hand on her throat and actually like cracks. Like the
cracking, like,
and he goes, then he says like, you are a witch, and he goes, I'm a witch, you're a vampire. and they actually end up like, he like chokes her and breaks like part of her crackers
body,
face. And then
he bites her.
Bites her in front of everyone, and then she like magically pushes him, and
through the wall, through the doors.
And then basically reveals that she's a witch, and then they start fighting.
I remember this part. Okay, this part I can get to.
Okay.
Okay, all of a sudden, after she throws him through there, she's like, I'm gonna, like, kick your ass, pretty much. So she's, like, charging after him. Willie! Willie. He jumps in front of her, like, you're gonna have to get through me, lady. And he's got an axe in front of him. And she just freaking tosses him like he's a dog.
Oh.
Just like, barely, like, taps him, just like, bye-bye, and just throws him into a wall.
It was like such a pointless little scene. It was a cute scene, but it was pointless. So,
well, I mean, he is still under hypnotism, so he's like, I'm gonna protect my master, and it's like, oh shit.
Oh no.
Anyway, we get them in the ballroom looking area, which oh yeah, we forgot to talk about the ballroom. We'll get back to that, but they're fighting. They're like, she's like, you should have just left me. This never would have happened. Blah 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 blah. You know, like. That's pretty much all she does the whole time, and it's just like, you should have loved me. I have low self-esteem, basically, what I'm getting from this chick. Yeah. But, you know, while they're fighting, suddenly Elizabeth comes out of nowhere with a shotgun. Yep. And just starts, like, shooting the shit out of her, and it's just like, ba-bam, ba-bam, and it was kind of cool. Well, I don't know exactly what happened, but all of a sudden, somehow Elizabeth hits her, and then Barnabas throws her, and she ends up through the ceiling. Yeah. And she ends up in Caroline's room. Yeah. Well, we get a glimpse at Caroline. Caroline is a werewolf at this point. Don't get me started on that. Oh, my God. Anyway, Caroline is a werewolf, and apparently when she was a baby, Angelique had sent a werewolf after the family and had gotten her bitten. Yeah. While she was in her crib. Yeah. Well, she's like, get out of my room, and it's like, snarl, snarl, grr. And like, oh, okay, and she just stares at her like, yeah, bitch, I'm leaving. So she just jumps down in the hole again, and they're fighting again, and then Angelique is like, okay, you don't want to love me, fine. So she brings the whole house to life. Yeah. Because Michelle Pfeiffer's character is like, get out of my house, and she's like, my house. And everything comes, which actually, this part was kind of creepy to me. Because, like, all of a sudden the pictures turn, and then everything starts coming to life, and I didn't like the blood. That was kind of overkill, but you know, that is kind of a creepy thing, because, like, if you're in those haunted houses, I was kind of reminded of that, Michael Jackson music video where he was, like, a ghost or whatever. Yeah, yeah. And he's, like, you know, everything's gently, like, dusty, but everything, like, can come alive. Mm-hmm. But that's what I was reminded of, and, you know, there's this creepy little siren thing holding Barnabas in the air, and it's like, nope, you're not going anywhere, and the family's getting, you know, wrapped up and held down, and all of a sudden, Caroline drops from the ceiling and is like, hey, get out of my house, you know, and Elizabeth's like, oh my God, Caroline, what happened to you? And she's like, I'm a werewolf. Let's not make a big deal of it, okay? I'm like, okay, you're still going to act like some snotty teenager while you're okay. I'm just going to let that go. And, but
Angelique also says that she killed David's mother.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, David's mother. Yeah, that's another thing I probably should have pointed out. David's father is a loser. Yeah, yeah, Roger's a loser. Yeah, he's a loser. Barnabas catches him stealing from the family and, you know, just, like, cheating and, like, sleeping around and being a sleaze bag, basically. And it's like, you can do two things. You can either stay here and be a better father to David, or you can leave. And he, being the coward he is, leaves. Yeah. So this boy is without his mother and his father now. Yeah. Well, he's got his mother, but she's a ghost. Yeah. So, you know, anyway, while all this fighting is happening, the house catches on fire. And David runs at Angelique and is like, you better leave him alone, stop it, you know, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, what are you going to do about it? I'll kill you first, you know. So she goes to kill him, and he's like, I'm warning you. And she goes, oh, what are you going to do, stop me? She goes, no, my mom is. And then all of a sudden we get this really creepy, eerie light. Yeah. And all of a sudden around the corner of one of the hallways into the main area of the house, a ghost comes, and it's David's mother. And she's like, I'm going to do this really crazy banshee scream. Ah! And just, like, screams and throws her back into the wall. Yeah. And I was reminded of X-Men, and it was great. But, you know, throws her into the chandelier and, like, cracks her, and the chandelier falls. And she falls with it, and by this point her body's just, like, she's just falling apart. I mean, it's like watching an egg crack, you know, just, like, pieces falling up everywhere. And then the spell that has everything coming to life comes off of everything, and Barnabas falls to the ground, and the mom is able to get free and help Caroline, who got tossed around and hurt. And, you know, he's like, everybody, get everybody out of here. He tells David, get everybody out of there. And Willie, I don't know how the hell he ended up there, but somehow he's on the ground, and everybody's running out, and then, like, David stops and looks at Willie and goes, Willie, come on, we gotta go. Willie's like, ugh, and just runs out like a weirdo. But, then Barnabas kneels in front of Angelique's body and is like, you know, there was a time when I probably could have loved you, but, you know, you didn't want to love me, you just wanted to control me.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I loved you. And she's like, you cannot love, Angelique. That is your curse. So she reaches at her chest and pulls out her heart. And,
offers it to him.
Yeah, but she's like, take it, but he doesn't, and it just cracks. And, like, it's just like watching, like, somebody crack a glass, like porcelain. And then she, like, dies.
Yeah.
And then Barnabas comes out of the house. Well, after he starts looking for Maggie, Maggie's disappeared at this point. We haven't seen her for a while now, because a while ago she had found out he was a vampire, like, you know.
It was like, it was after the ball, or the happening, should I say, the happening, and the happening, and it was after the party, basically, and David was underneath, like, the mirror ball, and he was running to go get something, and he knocked Willie. Yeah, and he knocked Willie while he was on the thing, and the ball started to fall on him. So Barnabas ran and pushed the boy out of the way. Well, that put him in the sun. Yeah, and he catch on fire. And he spontaneously combusts. So well, that was the slowest combustion I've ever seen a vampire go through. That is true. You know, so like everybody's like, oh my God, you know, he's a vampire. Ah! And I guess that freaked Maggie out with, hey, you know, the guy I love is a vampire. That would kind of creep me out, too. Actually, I think it was kind of hot around the don't sparkle again with the sparkling. But she's like, we don't see her after that. But anyway, we get back to Barnabas looking for her, and it's like, I can't find her. He realizes that she must be heading towards Widow's Peak, which is where the people are jumping off the cliff, you know, and killing themselves. And he stops her before she's about to jump off, and he's like, I'm glad I saved you, you know, it's all okay. And she's like, no, it's not okay. You're a vampire. I'm human. I'll get old and die, and you won't. Yeah. And he's like, we can get through this. We can fix this. And she's like, no, we can't. The only way there's only one way we can fix this. And he's like, no, I won't put that curse on you. That's wrong. Yeah. So she just fucking steps back from him and just falls. What is it with women killing themselves for men? I don't know. And then he, like, jumps off the cliff to catch her, then bites her, and then they slam it to the ground again with the chicken cracking noise. Yeah, chicken cracking noise, yeah. And then, you know, he gets up, of course, and he's looking at her, he's like, no, she's dead. He's, like, hugging her dead body and petting it and, like, crying. And then, all of a sudden, slowly, her eyes start to get that black, like, lining around it, and she opens her eyes, and she's alive. And they're both vampires. And ta-da! Ta-da! Well, that's the ending. They live happily ever after. I'm like, you know that he just killed, like, 32 people. What are they gonna do? Yeah, what are they gonna do? I guess there's one scene that I'm gonna, like, throw out real quick that I did forget to talk about, and I apologize for this. There is a ball scene. Yeah. There is a scene where you all probably seen it in the the commercials and TV spots and all that, where they have this really big happening. You know, like, people from all over the town are showing up, and they've got dancers in cages, and they've got, like, really fancy lava lamp lights, and it's actually really cool looking. And I'd want to be on the set, but we get Alice Cooper on the stage, you know, and it's really funny because Barnabas has thought Alice Cooper was a woman, yeah. So that is the ugliest woman I've ever seen. He's just staring at him. He's like watching Alice Cooper through these little glasses, you know, like opera glasses, like ugliest woman I've ever seen. And we are all rolling in the theater at this point because we're like, oh God. And that was a fun thing that I thought that I thought we should have thrown in there that I forgot. But there was also a really fun part where Caroline starts the opening of one of his songs, and I thought that was pretty cool. That was very cute, actually. Yeah. Yeah. But I thought it was just, you know, for her character that worked. So, but anyway, that's the whole movie all right there, and yeah, right there. I don't know what to think of it, really. I really don't. I did not like it. obviously. And
Obviously,
yeah, obviously you did not like it. And as a person who is a diehard Dark Shadows fan, I have books, actually. So I have books on Dark Shadows and everything. I actually have some of the recordings. I don't have the DVDs because they're expensive as hell, because they're like $1,000. So
yeah, people want a lot for that.
yeah, just go on Netflix, which I don't have, and just watch them. So yeah, do not watch. If you're a diehard Dark Shadows fan, do not watch this. You're gonna be so pissed. And actually, do not watch the show. The actual novels, the novelizations, the spin-offs have been republished now, which we haven't seen in 40 years, maybe?
Yeah.
40 years? So we haven't seen it in 40 years, so go get those. Those are good.
You're a die-hard fan. Like, this is, now let's get it from somebody who really didn't get a chance to fully grow up with it.
Okay.
Here's my opinion on this film. Okay. I like Tim Burton's work. I like his work. I'm okay. I mean, yeah, he's had some flops here and there, but for the most part, I'm pretty accepting of what he throws at us.
Yeah.
This is not his worst work. Like, it's not. Like, he's had some very bad work out there.
Yeah.
But this is not his best work either. I guess, like, as I said in my little, review thing I wrote on the JEH fan, I would give it a 3.5 stars out of 5 because I know that seems like a lot, but the reason I give it that is because, one, I still enjoyed myself. I mean, even though I'm not as big of a fan of it, and I think that's because I'm not as big of a fan, I still had fun. 2, the movie, while it may not follow the franchise that well, it was still, it's still, they did throw in a few things here and there that were from it. Like, from what I'm told from, like, the woman that sat next to me, she's like, yeah, that was in the film, or, like, that was in the show, or, And I'm like, okay, so at least, they did that.
They did
and another thing that I've always been about is that this is Hollywood we're talking about. Hollywood has been known to do this with franchises of any kind. It could be a comic book. It could be a TV show. It could be a toy. Anything like that. I mean, look at Transformers. Look at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
They have these really big franchises, and, there's so much stuff in it that it's very impossible to slim it all down into one movie. And I get, as a theater person, I mean, this is my major, I get why they, mess it up sometimes. And, for something like Dark Shadows, which has been through a few different, models here and there, I can see why they weren't able to do as well as they could have. But at the same time, this is Tim Burton we're talking about. We know he does not follow the norm.
No.
You got to expect that he's going to do something crazy with this shit.
Sadly, the thing is this, despite the fact that even as a diehard fan, I did not like this film, I was enjoying the film. I did laugh at certain places. I did kind of cringe at other places. And I did bop at the music. I mean, the music was actually great. So
music was perfect for it. Like, they used good music for it. So that's why I was like, okay.
They just chose, like, this is 70s, so 70s music. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but they chose good 70s music to go with it. Like, they could have just thrown in some, like,
yeah, they could have thrown in
random-ass shit. But the songs, if you listen to them, actually do go with the theme.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they tried. I mean.
Yeah. But I mean, I was rocking to that Alice Cooper part. I mean, I was like, no more, Mr. Nice Guy. So,
yeah, exactly. I mean, I was just, and plus, I loved watching Jackie and Chloe in it. I mean, I had fun with them. I mean, I haven't seen Jackie in a film since Nightmare, or and I haven't seen him since Human Target, which got canceled. So it's good to see him again.
Yeah.
And he's so. I mean, he had fun with this. You could tell he was having fun with this character.
Yeah,
and that's always happy for me.
Yeah.
And these characters had fun with these characters. I know they did. They were all having fun.
Yeah.
And it may not be like what the fans want to see.
Yeah.
And maybe someday somebody will do another movie and be like, maybe this will be better, and maybe it won't.
Night of Dark Shadows.
I think people judge things too hard, in my opinion. Like, it's kind of like when people love the Avengers movie out right now, right?
Yeah.
But if you think about it, that movie has some flaws to it, too.
Yeah, and I addressed that.
Comic book-wise,
Yeah, I addressed that. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, nothing is going to be perfect when you try to take it from a franchise. I mean, or you can totally fuck it up like Michael Bay, like he's going to do with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But,
Aliens!
Shut up, I'm so cringing from that. They're going to be aliens.
Aliens! But I mean, would I watch it again? I would not pay to watch it again.
Not pay to watch it.
I wouldn't pay to watch it, but if it came on cable, I will watch it again.
I will rent it.
I won't rent it. I'm not giving any money to this franchise.
I'll Netflix it or rent it. I have Netflix, so
yeah.
It's my mother's.
I'll tell you the things I did like about this film. The art direction, of course, is beautiful. It's Tim Burton. The art direction will always be beautiful, no matter how bad the film he does. It will always look.
I mean, look at
beautiful.
Beetlejuice. Look at Beetlejuice. Or look at Corpse Rider. A Nightmare on Elm Street. Haha, he did that. No. Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas. Even like really like ones that I hated so much, like Demon Barber of Fleet Street, Sweeney Todd, because I'm a huge fan of that musical, and he ruined it. So, but it looked beautiful.
But I loved Alice in Wonderland.
I actually did not like that film.
Really?
I was entertained by it, but technically I did not like it because the plot was bad, and that's the thing.
It should have been Through the Looking Glass. I think it's called Through the Looking Glass.
Yeah, I know, but it was beautiful to look at. Plot-wise, it was not very good. It was like, I think that you described it as a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. It was just like all these things kind of crammed together, and
well, that's what I felt like was up with this film. Like you know, it was a big clusterfuck of let's just throw that in there, but. I mean, I guess that's the best way to describe this film. But at the same time, you know, I see what they were trying to do with the story, but I think they were trying to throw too many things in at once.
Yeah.
And they didn't know where to go with it, so it's like, this is a train wreck.
Yeah, it was a train wreck, but it was like, it was entertaining. Train wreck. Yeah.
It was just like,
ooh, look at that.
If people want to see this, I'm not saying don't go see it, and I'm not saying go see it. I'm just saying, just be aware that it's not going to be what you expect.
Exactly.
And it's going to be clusterfucky.
Yeah, I did not expect it to be as dramatic as it was.
I thought it was going to be all campy. That's what, and then there was all these dramatic scenes, and I'm like, whoa.
I was actually, when I saw the trailers, I was like, oh my god, it's going to be pure comedy. Actually, it wasn't. It did actually have some wonderful dramatic moments. And what was dramatic, the scenes that were good were really good. And the scenes that were bad were very bad.
That's what I mean. Like it's like watching a yo-yo go up and down.
Yeah.
You don't know what really you don't know where you stand with this.
Yeah.
It's
scenes that I did like. Despite how campy it was, I did love the happening scene. I actually I did love.
I love Alice Cooper. So
of course. I mean, who doesn't love? But I did love that scene. I did love the entire scene where it was a montage of Barnabas living at the house.
Yeah, and he's trying to find a place to sleep.
And he's trying to find a place to sleep because and he's like upside down on the bedpost. He's in the closet. He's in the
clock.
The clock. I love the scene. Actually, I love the scene where he brushed his teeth. I should hate that scene, but I actually love that scene because it's my childhood. I always dreamed that to be on screen.
Our friend who's afraid of mirrors won't like that scene.
Yeah. It's just him brushing his teeth, and obviously he has no reflection, but you see the suds in the toothbrush. So
and that's how he's brushing his teeth, because you see the suds.
It was just the suds in the toothbrush, and I admit that's a scene of my childhood. I wish that, you always see that in cartoons. Mm-hmm. So it's great to actually see that.
Speaking of cartoons, there are some funny scenes where he's watching the TV, and he's watching, who's that chick that sings, I'm on top of the world? I know who it is.
On top of the world?
Yeah, the one that's singing in the trailer.
Yeah, I don't know who
if you've seen the trailers, you know it's that thing where he goes, reveal yourself, tiny songstress. I mean, even when you're watching it in the film, it's still funny, because it's just thrown in there. And then there's a part where he's watching Scooby-Doo, and he's like, this is an odd play. It's like, Zoinks, it's a vampire, or whatever, like the werewolf one or whatever. It was cute.
Alright, and I mean, the music is, of course, beautiful, and actually, usually, I actually thought that Danny Elfman didn't sound like Danny Elfman in this film.
Yeah,
it actually sounded very normal. So it sounded very normal, but it still had that dramatic violins, and everything. But it's still, I couldn't tell that it was Danny Elfman until I saw the credits. Actually, I sat down and watched all the credits because usually when I watch a film, I always stay after the credits for as a tribute to all the people who worked on it,
Yeah.
even if I hate the film. So,
Yeah.
and particularly since I work in the entertainment business, I'm an animator. Well, I was an animator, so I like to stay out there and just like appreciate all the people who work on it, and no matter the film, but it's but I can tell you that the scenes that were so bad, you felt ashamed watching.
What do you think was the worst scene? I mean, besides
the worst
sex
scene was
we all know that was the sex.
Yeah, the sex scene. Well, actually, any sex scene in this entire thing was actually really bad. Like,
oh yeah, like the part with the dad and the freaky weird chick or whatever. He's like, "Rah!" Like making out in the courtroom.
One of the things that I never quite got about this film is Angelique's motivation. I was just like, really? Can't you just get over him? He's not worth your time. Literally. He's a jerk.
I mean, we don't even understand why she loves him. It's just like,
yeah. I was just like, get over it. And I was just like, you are... in the series, it's a little better explained because he promised her all this stuff and she never got it. And the more that she tried to retaliate against him, the more he actually tried to hit back. So there was actually this very equal opportunity kind of curse each other kind of thing. But in this one, it seems like Barnabas was completely innocent. Like, I'm the most innocent person here, even though he killed like 32 people. So I never paid for any of it. So and he's the protagonist. So hey, let's kill people, and then yay, he gets the girl. Yay! So.
But he does always seem like remorseful when he has to kill somebody. I mean, he's like, this sickens me, you know. I mean,
like,
but at the same time, it's still, you know.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily right. So.
No, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, like, he does seem legitimately like, I don't want to do this, but, you know, he does get, you know, his thirst.
Yeah. There's also a scene where he goes to Angelique and she offers him blood, like from a champagne glass.
Yeah.
Sherry glass, and I'm just like, don't drink that. You don't know what's in that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's probably oh no, you're gonna drink it, okay?
I'm like, you're gonna drink it. I'm like, is he okay? Is he okay?
You're not very
he's
smart,
fine.
are you?
He's fine. And I thought that was like, I thought something was gonna happen, like she poisoned it or something.
I did too. I was like, oh.
And I was waiting for him to turn into the old man. So. Yeah, I thought. Yeah.
He's gonna turn into Gilbert?
Well, I was, you know how in the 60s series he kind of got his blood tainted, and he.
Oh, you said old man. I was thinking.
Yeah, he turned into old Barnabas and started like becoming Jack the Ripper, and I thought that was gonna happen, and it was complete nonsense. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
And instead, we had a sex scene, and I was just like, oh god. And it really did come off as a porno. So my friend is a guy, and he apparently enjoyed it. So he got to saw a lot of softcore porn.
Actually, some of the guys in the theater were like, ow, ow, and then some of them are like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, and the girls are just like,
they're like, dude, it's not even that hot.
No, sorry. So.
One girl was like, Johnny, don't!
Don't get tempted. So that's so weird because I'm not used to that as Barnabas. Barnabas, despite all his flaws, he is, no matter what, a gentleman. And a lot of what Johnny did, he was gentleman 1 second and then completely like a cad the next. And
I'm gonna be a jackass all of a sudden.
Yeah, he's just like, it's just, yeah, I just want to choke him and slap him. I'm just like, what are you doing? You know better than this. Don't trust her. So, it's, oh, God. So, the scenes that were bad were very bad. But the scenes that were good, there were a few, there were several actually, were really good. So, one of the things that I never quite got is that you had the ghost of Josette.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden you had
what we didn't tell you is that Josette has reappeared as a ghost, and she's walking around the household, and she runs to Maggie a lot and is like, help me, and like drags her towards the chandelier, and she repeats her death of falling back. You know, she's like, help me, and falls again. Yeah. And we don't really have any reason for that.
Yeah, we don't have any reason for that, and then all of a sudden we see David's, like, mother, and I was just like, where was she through all this? And we've never seen that character before, and I totally thought that Josette was going to come and, like, beat the crap out of Angelique. Because,
but it says the mother.
But instead it was the mother, and I went, I don't get it. Well, what's the point of all that? What happened to Josette then? So, and then they never finish it. Like, Josette's ghost is completely gone. She just disappears from the plot, and then all of a sudden we have, she never comes back, and then all of a sudden we have David's mother's ghost, and she disappears from the plot completely after that, and we don't know where anything went.
Well, we see her again later, but that's only when David's like, oh, she's running towards the, the cliff or whatever.
The cliff, and I'm just like, well, what? I don't understand. So
yeah, what does she have to do with this? Okay.
Yeah, I was like, so when she becomes a vampire, does she remembers she's Josette? So
she's like, I'm Josette. Or whatever she says when she wakes up.
No, you're still Vicky / Maggie.
Maggie / what are you?
Yeah, what are you? So, and there was no explanation that the ghost merged with her? Did something happen? I don't know what happened. So,
I'm thinking what Josette was saying to her. Like, this is just what I'm thinking, just from saying this. But when Josette keeps falling and is showing Maggie, falling, help me. I think she was saying, like, help me be me again. Help me come back. Help me get, be with him again. Barnabas or whatever.
I guess, but do you have to sacrifice?
That doesn't make any sense either. Still, so either way, I'm still like, eh.
And also, it's just like, why do you have to kill yourself for a man? Honestly. So,
yeah, exactly. We're back to that why.
And it's just like this. Guy. And it was just...
It's Romeo and Juliet all over again.
No, it's Bella and Edward. So, that's what the fuck it is. That's what it was.
I'm allowed to actually talk about that because I've actually seen those movies, unfortunately.
I, unfortunately, have seen them for the mere fact that I could laugh at them. So,
have you seen all of them?
I have not seen it past the third movie. So.
Oh, I've seen all of them.
Oh, God.
In theater.
Oh,
with
God.
Twilight fangirls.
No.
And you know how much fun it was to really? Suddenly for me to scream, this is stupid, in the middle of the theater and to get popcorn thrown at me. It was great.
This is stupid.
I said that at the end of the movie and I had popcorn thrown at me.
Aww.
Right, I was like, what is the point of this? Oh, and here's another fact. As I was telling our dear friend, Aubrey, I was telling her about, it's Aubrey, excuse me, I can't talk. But, I was telling her that while I was at the theater, there was a young man there. He had to be about a little bit younger than me, which makes me sound old, which I'm really not that old. But he had to be not that much younger than me, and he was wearing a Twilight shirt.
Oh, wow.
There's a guy wearing a Twilight shirt.
Wow.
So I'm curious about this, and of course, my, Aubrey, as she is like, hey, gay, and I'm like, no, he's got a girlfriend. He's sitting there pretty much sucking face with her. So I walked over there and was like, hey, why are you wearing a Twilight shirt? And it turns out that was how him and his girlfriend had met through Twilight. I go, that relationship is doomed.
Yeah. Oh, man.
They met while they were both buying a Twilight book.
Oh, God.
No joke. That is exactly what he said.
I don't want to judge their relationship, but I do wish them the best. I don't think it's gonna last, but yeah.
It's not gonna last after another year.
Yeah. But
anyway, away from Twilight, God. We're talking about vampires. I have to bring Twilight in. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sadly, I'll give. Well, let's compare the film to Twilight then. So let's talk about that, since this is basically piggybacking on the fame of Twilight.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's exactly what a lot of these fangirls are probably going to be expecting when they come to this, too, because, they're going to probably expecting some kind of Twilight pick.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I've actually had girls be like, they've watched Blade or something like that, and they're like, that's not what vampires are supposed to do. They're not supposed to explode. And I'm just like, yeah,
they are.
So. They're supposed to explode when the sun touches them, or silver or anything like that. And she's like, no, they're not. And so I pretty much had a whole argument with this chick saying that Stephanie Myers did not create vampires.
Nope.
And this
Nope,
girl
not
had
even,
to
not
be
even.
about 13
Bram
years
Stoker
old.
didn't even. Yeah, Bram Stoker didn't even invent vampires.
No, he didn't.
No, he did not. He certainly made a lot of the mythology that comes down to it, but he is not the creator.
We like now, but like vampires have been around since forever.
Since the
they just
dawn
had different names.
Yeah, they just had different names. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I mean,
but that's what I mean. Like, I'm wondering if the only reason that Burton did this is to go with the whole vampire trend going on right now.
Yeah.
Or if he he said he legitimately liked the show. You know.
I believe that because I know that he talked about it before when he did he talked about it before back when he was doing like Edward Scissorhands and a lot of his more gothic things, and he's talked about it before, and he's commented on the series before, and he grew up at that era, so during the 70s and the 60s and 70s, so he knows he's very well aware of the show.
But you know, the fact that he timed it to come out at this time was actually pretty smart. I mean, think about it. With this whole vampire kick going on, and then I mean, if you go into like any bookstore, you're gonna see like some new vampire book out about like, you know, teen girl wakes up and discovers she's like the daughter of Count Dracula or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. But you know, stuff like that. You know, I mean, he did time it out pretty well. But at the same time, you know, you're gonna have to wonder if he's selling out to the Twilight-ness thing.
I think part of it is, but I think that he did genuinely want to do this film because he is a fan of the series, and I know
he's even said that. But
he even says that, and but I think that a lot of it does have to do with timing. A lot of Hollywood films is about timing, so
true that.
Yeah. And
I mean, that's why it took us so long to get Shutter Island out when they came out.
Yeah, that's true, Shutter Island, even the Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Oh my god, that pissed me off. I was like, would you fucking come out?
And I was waiting for that for a long time.
Still want the number 2, just saying.
Isn't that in pre-production now?
Yeah, I don't know. We're getting like signs that are like, ta-da, it's in pre-production, and everybody's like, oh wait, no, it's not. And then, ta-da, it's in pre-production, no, it's not. Oh my god.
I think it's probably in pre-production hell.
Yeah, so. I'm thinking it. Well, right now, Jackie even said he's on break right now.
Yeah. Okay.
So it might not be in pre-production.
Well, obviously he's on break. He's actually tweeting. So.
Yeah, I know. He tweets.
He tweets.
But I get so excited when I see a new tweet from him. I'm just like, Jackie's alive. But you know, the main reason he's tweeting right now is because they called him out on it.
Yeah, they did. They did.
And I giggled like a moron. I'm like, we've all been saying that. Get your ass back on Twitter, man.
He's like, I forgot my password. Well, figure it out. You can go on forgot password.
Like, well, I'm not trying to call him old.
Yeah.
But he is an older gentleman, and you know that kind of stuff is not easy when you're a little older.
Yeah.
So, you know, he probably didn't know that you can talk to the, you know, you can send in a request to get your email back and all that stuff. You know.
Yeah, I gotcha.
He probably doesn't know that. I mean, this isn't his time period, really. But
yeah, but he does very well though. He seems to tweet very well.
I love when he tries to retweet something. It's so cute.
Yeah.
He's like, can I retweet this?
How do I tweet this? Did I retweet it? Did I retweet it?
Like, I don't know if it retweeted or not, but I did see this.
I did this.
Like, okay.
And we're just like, okay, this is what you do.
It's great. Oh my god. Yeah, anyway, speaking of Jackie, are you excited about his upcoming part in Lincoln?
I am. I am too. But I'm wondering about this because I was actually watching the trailers for The Dark Shadows, and they had Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Oh, that's not the one he's gonna be in.
Obviously, I know that, but I just find it so ironic that this movie's coming out, and then Lincoln's coming out, and then of course there's the Asylum, Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies. So it's all coming out within the span of.
What's up to the Lincoln movie? Which one?
Yeah, which one? But I am looking forward to it because I have read the biography book that they're basing it off of.
Yeah.
So
I have 2 actually. I read it for class.
Yeah,
so.
It's actually a fascinating book.
It is.
But
what's really great is that, even though he even says he's like, this isn't like a big role or anything, but it is an important part for him to play because the character is important.
Yeah.
And, it's like, well, he did make a very important speech and,
Yeah.
So, because he is kind of important.
Yeah, of course. Well, being a person who's from the South, he's very important. So,
well, yeah. That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, well, you are from where he's from. So.
Yeah, I'm Texas, so even though I'm Asian, so he's still.
Hey, I'm just a Missourian, so.
Yeah, I'm from Texas, and unfortunately, he not unfortunately, but he did a great. Not unfortunately, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I got the Dixie Chicks in trouble.
No, but he is a very important part of Texas history as well as just Southern history. So particularly against Lincoln, and I hope that it does well. I hope we see more than like 3 minutes of him. So
yeah, I mean, is this just gonna be like a quick cameo thing? I'm wondering, but maybe it will just be. But as long as we get him like at least, I'll be happy with like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'll be happy with that. I'll be happy with that.
Let's see. I guess those are the only two that that's the only film I can think about that he's gonna be. And then there's A Nightmare on Elm Street. That's next.
Yeah, well, the thing is that. Also, his Louis hasn't come out yet.
Yeah,
and
when is that coming out?
Yeah,
I really
and neither has
I want to see Bolden.
Bolden
yeah,
hasn't come out yet.
And then that Dance of the Merlotins. Is that what it is?
Has he finished that?
I think it's been finished. I mean, it's even. I think so.
Because it said that it was in production, and then I've never heard anything about it ever since.
Well, it should have been out in 2011. It said so.
I guess they couldn't find any funding for it to come out.
Maybe they just didn't get it finished. I mean,
I don't know. We should ask him. So
tweet him that, like, yeah, hey Jack, what's up with that?
Yeah, what's up with that? Yeah. So.
No, hold up. I found some stuff here.
All right.
And it says still in pre-production. It's supposed to come out 2013.
Wow.
No, wait. I want to see it as a crazy.
I want to know. I want to see Jackie in tights.
Oh, God.
I want to see Jackie in ballet tights. So, but not to sound shallow or anything, but it's just like I'm very interested to see what this story is because it seems like a really good concept. It was just a little chubby girl joins a ballet class. They all bully her, and he's like one of the worst ones. He's one of the villains. So yeah. It seems like a great concept. It seems almost like God, what is that ballet film with the guy, the little boy? So,
no, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was on Broadway at one point, and it was really big. Yeah, it was really big. So it just kind of reminds me of that kind of film. It just happens to be a girl. So.
But no, Lewis and Bolden are what I really want to see right now. I guess Bolden's still in like pre-production.
I know. He said that he finished it.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because they were filmed like back and back.
Yeah, because that way, yeah. Okay, I remember that. But Lewis is the only one that's really had it, poke out like, hey, watch this.
Yeah.
We're showing it, and he even said they wanted to let it show in a few select theaters before they did anything with it.
Yeah.
And it is a individual production, so it is kind of harder to get those films on DVD and stuff. I mean, look how long it took Repo to get on.
Oh yeah, true. Which, if anybody hasn't seen that, go watch Repo the Genetic Opera.
Yeah, go see Repo the Genetic Opera. Anybody that can get to watch it, I make them watch. I'm like, you are sitting down and watching this with me. I would care.
I think I've gotten maybe 30 people to watch it since I've heard of it. So
I grabbed all my people in my dorm and was like, come downstairs. And then some people left because they're like, I just can't get into it, which is fine. It's not for everybody, but
I gotcha.
But most people are like, oh, dude, this is awesome. And some people are like,
what's funny is that...
Like, the music guys, oh, my God, the music people were, like, so excited. They're like, dude, I know that person, or, hey, I recognize Korn, or,
Yeah.
Like, puppy.
What's funny is that I got a friend of mine into Repo, but he absolutely despises horror films. And I'm a great horror film fan. So, but he loves musicals. And I went, no, sit down, watch it. Trust me, you'll like it. Just ignore the blood and ignore the guts. Just watch it. Trust me, you'll like it.
Yeah, only takes up most of the film, but just ignore it.
Yeah, just ignore that. So, just ignore that. And he was just like, I'm like,
I bet Thankless Job was his least favorite part.
Actually, he loves that song.
God.
He just
the song, I'm just the part when you see it in text.
Yeah. His favorite song is what is it? I'm the Night Surgeon. So that's actually his favorite song.
Nice.
So
mine is Buzz Lightyear Anatomy, but you know.
Yeah, everybody loves that. But the thing is that it gets in your head and it won't go away. And then you'll be humming it.
That and Chromagia.
I hate Chromagia. You know why I hate Chromagia?
That was like the dead serious, I'm gonna kill you kind of voice.
No, yeah. That is the one song I hate. Not because of the lyrics. The lyrics are beautiful. It's because of Sarah Brightman. I hate
Sarah Brightman.
I don't know. I do not like her because
why?
Because she does not stay in her range. She cracks constantly. She's a horrible egotist. She has eyes like a freaking doll.
Well, yeah, you and your...
Yeah, okay. But the thing is that if she stayed in her range, she's wonderful.
Child's play.
Yeah, shut up. Shut up.
Got Jesse eyes.
No. But, if she just stayed in her range, she's fine.
Ooh, random question.
Yes.
What's the movie that Tom Hiddleston's going to be in next? I know you're like a bigger follower than I am of him, but is he going to be in anything again?
Yeah, he's actually going to be, after this, he's filming a vampire film, believe it or not.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, he's actually going...
Damn vampire!
Yeah, he's doing a vampire film called Only Lovers Left Alive. It's done by a very independent director, who I can't pronounce because it's Polish. But I can't pronounce, but he's Polish. But he's been tweeting about, I'm sorry I haven't been tweeting lately because I've been thinking about love and vampires. So.
Yeah, okay, I saw that tweet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's actually doing a vampire film. So that should be interesting. Well, we went on a tangent here. I'm very sorry about that. So
it's okay. It happened.
So we went to Twilight and then we started talking about other films. So that were much more interesting to talk about. So.
I guess. This movie lost our interest. We said what we had to say and then we're like, oh, what's going on in the world now?
Yeah, what's going on with the world now? And God. So.
Anyway, ignore us. We ramble.
We're rambling. Sorry about that.
If you've ever seen our AIM conversations, we're the same way, people trust us.
Yeah, we'll just go like, oh, did you see this film? Oh, by the way, did you know that this is happening? So,
by the way, you gotta see this picture.
By the way, look at this picture right here. So, oh my God, this happened. This person tweeted. So how's life? So, yeah, it's amazing how I don't even know how we do it. I really don't. But,
we're girls. We're women. Women don't stay on one conversation. I'm sorry if y'all get pissed at me for that, but we don't.
Well, we're more adept at multitasking. By multitasking, yeah, and multiple projects.
I'm not saying that guys can't. Don't get offended.
No, it's not that guys can't. It's just that the brain, that the synapses, in order to do multitasking, is thinner in men than it is in women. That's why women are better at multitasking.
Scientifically proven.
Yeah, scientifically proven. That's why we're better at multitasking than men. So, but it's not that they can't. It's just that it's more difficult.
Now, women, that does not mean you should go and start driving and texting still.
No, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Or
if anybody dies, I will find your corpse and I will kick it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. So, okay, what can we... Okay, finishing this off, now that we've gone on a tangent.
Oh my God, we're rambling.
We're rambling. What can we say about this film that hasn't been said yet?
Back to Dark Shadows, okay.
All right.
What we say about this is... I think we pretty much covered everything that I can think of. I mean, you covered all the...
Hey, Christopher Lee was awesome.
Yeah.
Christopher Lee was awesome.
Christopher Lee was great, yeah.
Christopher Lee was great.
Let's see. Some of the effects were cheesy, but some of them were real fun.
No, the effects were horrible. I don't know. I'm trained to see these things.
Okay, well, yeah, for you.
No matter what I do, in any Tim Burton film, once he went into CGI, I can see every effect.
This is why I can't get you to watch freaking Happy Feet with me, woman.
No, you can't, because all I see is rotoscope, motion capture.
Okay, the second one's a lot better at not doing that. I showed you a clip of that. They're a lot better at not doing that.
Better, but it was still motion capture. So
Boy.
I can't help it. I'm sorry. So the textures move.
This is why I don't
should
go
not
into animation
move.
stuff, because it makes me not enjoy a film as much. Because I'll be like, I can't watch
I'm sorry,
this.
I can't help it.
I watch the actors more than anything. That's what I watch. And I also try to get with the storyline, because I like writing my own, you know, you see me, I write fanfic, but I also like to write, you know, like screenplays and stuff, which is what I've been working on, because I'm going to be taking a screenwriting class.
Oh, excellent.
Coming fall class, so you'll probably see some of those come out of me. But, you know, that's what I look for. I look for the stories and the character development. And what I think is that, you know, they could have developed some of these characters a little more, in my opinion. Like David should have had a little more development. Caroline, we just, boom, all of a sudden we get this random note of, hey.
You know, she actually ended up like Quentin. So she ended up like a totally different character. So she, I don't know, she, in the
or just that, like she just kind of fucking flew out of nowhere.
Yeah, and then she never comes back. And it was just so random, and it was so bizarre, and I really can't say much more than it's a clusterfuck of just shit. So
use that word. I mean, I wouldn't say shit. I just say clusterfuck.
Well, I mean, it's just random shit. It's just throwing stuff at the TV.
But I do have to say that if you want to go see it for like Jackie or like, you know, like Chloe or, you know, even, you know, Piper, you know, any of them, they're okay. You can go see them. Like, that's the main reason I was going to go see this, because I wanted to see. I have to support anything that, you know, Jackie does, because I'm a fan of his. Now, at the very end, we did say that we didn't say this, but Barnabas does kill Dr. Hawthorne.
Yeah,
because he discovers her. I said that wrong, didn't I? Excuse me.
It's Hoffman.
But Hoffman.
Hoffman.
Hoffman. Okay, God, I can't talk tonight. Hoffman, he kills her because he finds her using his blood to try to make her immortal and all that stuff. Yeah. Okay, so he gets Lily to help him dump her body in the lake or river or whatever that is. Sea. Gets her to drop her body in the sea, which is a really funny thing, because Jackie's just like, it's okay, I didn't like the bitch anyway. And he drops her body in the boat, but you know, they throw her off the boat and she sinks to the bottom of the water. At the very end of the movie, we go down into the water and we see fishes swimming around her body. Because you were thinking, oh great, it's gonna be like a corpse getting eaten.
Yeah.
She hasn't been eaten, and she's just floating there. But then all of a sudden, her eyes open up. Yeah. So that either tells me we're gonna have a number 2.
Well, the thing is that you usually know when you have a sequel on the first week it comes out. So far, it's not come out yet. I haven't seen the figures yet because this is only the second day. But we'll know by next week if this thing will have a sequel or not. So
I just think it will, because of the fact we got that really weird ass ending.
You have to understand this, that many films have that kind of cliffhanger to a second film, and it never happens. So so
that always irks my
that irks me too. But I really don't know. I don't know what to say about this film, because I didn't like it, but I found myself entertained by it. I will not watch it again unless someone kind of tells me to watch it. Because the only reason why I watched it today was that my friend wanted to watch it, but he didn't want to watch it alone. So it's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll watch it. You're gonna pay for the tickets, right? Because I refuse to pay for this. So, but I'll get lunch. So, I did that. So, I don't know. I'm still kind of like, I don't know about this film. I don't really know what to say about it, because it's just that it's just so much stuff. It's got a
43 rating right now on Rotten Tomatoes.
0.3?
No, 43.
Oh, 43, okay, 0.3. I was like, what? 43. I don't even know if it's even considered average. Would you consider it average?
Well, for me, it's pretty average. I mean, I don't know. I mean, compared to some of the stuff we've been getting so far this summer, I mean, like...
That's true.
We're still going to get Brave and stuff and all that. This movie's like...
What I find really funny is that this movie came out right after the Avengers. So you had like this really great movie, and then all of a sudden you had this, and it just seems so underwhelming. So I didn't know what to say, because I've been watching that, and then soon Brave is coming, and soon Dark Knight Rises is coming.
Oh,
so,
yeah. All these movies, I mean, like,
Prometheus,
all these movies are coming out, so...
Yeah, and Prometheus, and Men in Black 3, and...
Dude, I am not looking forward to Battleship. That's gonna be stupid as hell.
You know that it's gonna be a hit, you know that, right? No
yeah,
that was just sad, but... Yeah,
I played the game as a kid, but that's it.
I'm just waiting for Connect 4, the movie.
So that'll be awesome.
I'm waiting for that and Operation, the movie.
Oh, Men in Black 3.
Yeah.
Frankenweenie. Paranorman.
Oh, yeah, Frankenweenie's coming out, yeah.
Yep, and Paranorman. That was cute.
Paranorman, which is that?
That's the one where it looks like something that Tim Burton would make, but it's not something he made. It's that boy who can see dead people.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and people make fun of him for it, and then he's got to help the dead people out, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. So,
yeah.
So, it's going to be an interesting year. Oh, and The Hobbit. The Hobbit is coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's coming out.
Ron Perlman's supposed to be in that. So, that kind of makes me happy.
Richard Armitage is going to be in that, so I'm going to be very excited.
He's going to be in it?
Yeah, Richard Armitage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he's going to play...
See, I didn't really get a look at the cast. I just saw that it was on Ron Perlman's list.
Oh,
I'm like, yee!
God, the cast is huge.
Yeah, and I was like, this is going to be interesting. It's probably going to be a long-ass movie like the other ones.
Well, it's going to be a 2-part movie. So we're going to have one part.
I was like, oh, God.
So it's going to be probably like a 4-hour movie. So it's going to be 8 hours. So maybe around 8 hours. So, and they're doing it back-to-back. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I've been watching the production diaries, so it looks great. Oh my gosh, it looks wonderful. So, yeah, the trailer doesn't seem to give it much justice.
Yeah, well, that happens sometimes. That's why I don't like trailers. Because, I mean, I like trailers, but at the same time, sometimes they don't make a trailer right, and it ruins a movie, or, like, the trailer doesn't get enough, or, like, screen time.
Yeah.
Which you can say that for a certain TV show. Swim Target.
So, yeah. But, yeah, I would love to have Human Target back.
But we're not going to.
It will never happen. So...
Dude, I just want the second season to get the hell here.
I want, well, I don't know. So, but,
no, I liked the second season. Yes,
I liked episodes of second season. I didn't like the whole thing, sadly. I just want, yeah, I do want it to come out, but according to Fox, they said there's no plans. So,
lame.
Yeah, so it's going to be only available.
Oh well, I have all the episodes on my computer.
I think it's only available.
Videos I make.
I think it's gonna be only available on Amazon and iTunes, and I don't think we're ever gonna get. They said that like last year and this year they've been saying it too. So,
lame.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting it. So, yeah.
Lame.
Yeah. It's true.
Oh well.
That's true.
I've got all the episodes on my computer, as you know, for the music videos I love to make. What you just had go and show Jackie one.
Hey, he loved it. He loved it, and I would love to show him the rest of your stuff. So,
no.
The Bad News Bears one. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that one. So.
I was like, okay, that one's okay. But there's some I have that I'm just like, no, they're horrible. I'm very down on my music videos that I make, so I'm just like, ah.
No, I did like she was so surprised when I like send it to him because I was watching it. I was watching it, I'm like, we need to send it. I need to send this to Jackie. So, and I sent it to you, and I actually like also tagged your name. Say, hey, this is my friend. My friend Liz did this.
And I was like, what is this? So I'm like, I get a tag reply on my phone, and I'm just like, what?
And you started screaming at me 15 minutes later, and I was like, wah! So,
Epic flail, what's going on?
And all I did was, So that's all I did.
Oh my god.
Just an evil scientist laugh. But he responded,
Like,
and
what
we loved
the
it.
hell?
Yeah.
I want to show him a real wild one I made.
Yeah, I actually want to show him the I'm Just a Kid.
The Life is a Nightmare
Yeah,
one?
the Life is a Nightmare one.
Yeah, that one's not...
I like that
my
one
real
better.
wild one better. That's just my opinion.
No.
But
I actually think My Life is a Nightmare is better. Anyway, so
yeah.
anyway, I guess I have to trim this somehow.
Well, you can send whichever one you want,
Yeah.
but it's just like
Yeah, we're.
You know me. I'm just down on my own. It's kind of like when I write fanfic. I'm like, this is horrible, but I'm gonna send it.
But yeah, that's the thing. So I guess we're gonna sign off now because now it's been 2 hours and it's almost 2 hours and
My
11
God, we
minutes.
talked so much.
Yeah, we did because we went on a tangent for like 15 minutes. So
Yeah, that's
15 or
true.
20 minutes. So I'm gonna try to edit that down. I doubt I will, but because it was interesting.
Just swap it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. And so thanks a lot, Liz. Thank you so much for doing this.
Hey, it was no problem. It was fun. If you ever want to do this again, I'm available.
Yeah,
So.
cool. Because the last one I did, I was very nervous. I was so nervous because
Yeah, I think it would be easier to work with somebody. So,
yeah, yeah, it just sounds better. It's more relaxing. But all right, we're gonna sign off now, and we'll see you in the funny papers. Okay, bye.